back to another Tell Me a Story Tuesday with me, Rachel.
And me, Kay. Today, we're going to tell you a story called The Bumblebear by Nadia Shireen. Enjoy!
Once there was a bear called Norman who really loved honey. He really loved it. And he was always sad when it ran out. But getting hold of more honey was always a bit tricky.
If only I could be a bee, he sighed. I could have as much honey as I liked.
And then Norman had a quite amazing and brilliant idea.
It was an ordinary morning at bee school.
"Hello, bees," said the Queen, who was in charge. "Today we have a new bee at bee school."
"Ooh," said the little bees.
"Everyone say hello to Norman."
"Hello," said Norman.
"Ooh,"
said the little bees.
"Aren't you a bit big?" asked Amelia, who was a rather clever little bee.
I'm a special bee," said Norman. "I come from a land far, far away called Giant Bee Land."
Said Amelia.
But then it was time for classes to start. They began the day with some painting. Then Norman joined in with buzzing practice. Bzzz, before they all settled down for a nap.
The bees showed him all sorts of games at playtime, and Norman was brilliant at waggly dancing. And then it was time to go home.
"Bee school is amazing," thought Norman. He couldn't wait to come back the next day. The next morning was even better. Norman was very good at finding smelly flowers. The bees really liked him. He was so funny and friendly, and he always tried his best, even during flying lessons.
After lunch, the bees learned how to chase away anyone who came after their honey, like spiders, mice, toads, or bears. Amelia still felt there was something a little odd about Norman. She tried to work out what it was.
Amelia told the other bees what she had found out, but they didn't believe her. "Of course Norman's a bee," they said. "Just look at him."
"He is not a bee, and I shall prove it," said Amelia. She took Norman to the bees' secret honey store. Well, when he saw all that honey, Norman just couldn't help himself.
"Honey! Honey! Honey!" After all, he really loved honey.
See? Norman isn't a bee. He's a bear, said Amelia. What the jiggins?
Gasped all the little bees. Said Norman.
He was asked to leave bee school at once.
With Norman gone, things were very quiet at bee school. Norman was such a funny bee, sighed the bees.
Norman was such a busy bee, sighed Amelia. Norman was a very naughty bear, said the Queen, and bee school is no place for bears.
But later that night, the bees heard a loud crash and a diabolical roar.
Oh no,
They cried.
it's a bear. And this bear was big and nasty and trampled all over bee school. It grabbed the hive and started to shake it.
The bees tumbled out in a panic. They tried to chase the bear away, but it was too big and too bad. But then
A fearsome, buzzing beast burst through the trees.
buzz,
Eek! Squealed the bear. It's a giant bee! And it ran away as fast as it could.
the bees were saved, and Norman was a hero. They gave him a big pot of honey, and the Queen presented him with a special award.
You are definitely not a bee, said the Queen. But you are no ordinary bear. You are, I think, a Bumblebear.
And Bumblebears were definitely allowed to go back to bee school.
Thank you so much for listening to our story today. We hope you enjoyed it.
Now, we'd love to hear from you. If you've got an idea of what our next story should be, then head over to our Facebook or Instagram page and send us a message. We'll even give you a shout out too. We hope to see you soon.
Bye!